Have you ever looked around and wondered, how did they get that opportunity? How did they make that happen? I'm more qualified. I'm better than them at what I do. Why does everyone remember them? Why are they having the success that they're having? It's a hard one. But today we're diving into that uncomfortable truth. I'm Kimberly Spencer, founder of Crown Yourself, and I have been coaching and leading 6, 7, and 8-figure founders in breaking through the invisible ceilings subconsciously that are blocking their next level of growth in their mindset and in their business. And one of the biggest blocks to growth can be visibility. And it sucks when you're a person of integrity. You have been taught a belief system around be humble, don't brag, don't show off. And yet your skill set is far superior to the ones who are showing off. So here's the uncomfortable truth. Success isn't just about becoming unforgettable. It's about becoming known. The world does not reward hidden excellence. It rewards remembered excellence. Today, we are talking about the psychology, the communication habits, the subconscious patterns that determine whether people remember you or not. By the end of this episode, you will understand why people overlook extraordinary authority and how to build authentic authority that makes the right people remember you. After all, followers does not necessarily equal profit or cash or revenue in your business. You can't pay your bills with followers. You can pay your bills with customers. Having coached leaders at 5, 6, 7, 8, and even $1 billion founder, I have seen and noticed that invisibility is rarely a talent problem. It's actually an underlying belief system that is keeping you stuck. Most entrepreneurs who have built at least to the 6, if not 7-figure level, you are already operating in the top 10 to 12% of business owners worldwide. That's phenomenal. That means you're not lacking necessarily in expertise or in knowledge, and you are taking the actions to apply your knowledge to move the needle. But what you may be lacking is memorability. Being overlooked is usually a sign of unclear positioning, inconsistent communication, or quite frankly, a reluctance to be seen. A lot of times I have seen founders, for example, I have one client, and he is incredibly skilled at what he does. Like one of the best, most highest trained in his industry. He should be up there with the best of the industry. Other people in his industry are getting wildly recognized for their skill sets and talents. And they also got a bit of an ego. And they also got a bit of showmanship to it. He's super humble and lets his work speak for itself. He lets his outcome speak for itself. But the problem is he delegated his marketing to another person. He outsourced his power of communication to someone else. Well, and while this person is great at social media for their own needs, they're not necessarily a fit for the positioning of the level of the brand that he needs to be at in order to be seen and impossible to ignore. So when we assessed his brand, it was because of unclear positioning, inconsistent communication, sporadic posting. We didn't know whether he was high level in his business or a dad or over here doing a hobby. There was multiple brands playing into the mixture at once. And now I understand. Believe me, I have heard it said, how much of my life should I fully show? How much should I show on social media? Show what needs to be seen for growing your business, for aligning with positioning. But if you're just posting to post without any higher level strategy, you are diluting your message. The second bottleneck to becoming impossible to ignore is that your brain wants safety, not visibility. Being visible means there's a reason why more people fear public speaking than death. It's because being visible can put a target on your back. You can get haters. The fear of rejection is biologically real. It is a built-in fear that we have from biology, from back in ye old caveman days, when if we were left out of the tribe, we could die. So the fear of being visible, of standing out, it goes against belong, which means that we need to really rally those people around us, whether it's a coach or a community or a mastermind or a group of people that support you in that next level of visibility so that it normalizes it. because your subconscious mind will always go toward what's familiar. So it's wanting to go toward what's normal. So you want to open up to normalizing exposure. And here's one of my very favorite kind of counterintuitive ways to do this. I either will go on YouTube or I will watch a show. Like I just watched the American Sweethearts season 3 that really dove into the challenges of social media and how the Dallas Cowgirl cheerleaders are so harshly judged by people who are not even in the arena. And I'm watching this show as a former dancer, not at the level of the Dallas Cowgirl cheerleaders. I call them cowgirl cheerleaders because that's all. Like I don't know football, but Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, I guess. I wasn't at that level, but as a former dancer and like I trained heavily, and what they're doing is insane. It's amazing. The amount of work that these women put into their craft is phenomenal. It's pro athlete level. And there are people sitting on the sidelines judging them for how high their kicks are or how in sync their dance moves are. I'm like, you try getting into the arena. It reminds me of the Teddy Roosevelt quote, the man in the arena, that the reward, and I'm totally paraphrasing it here, but the reward doesn't go to the critic, to the one who doesn't have audacity to even get into the arena. The reward goes to the one who chooses to get in the arena and get bloodied and get messed up and actually have some sort of risk. There is no risk in a hater rage posting online, like to that person. There's no risk. People will say horrible things online that if they came up to you in person and said them to your face, they would get knocked out. And I'm not saying resort to physical violence, but most people, what they say online, they would never share to your face. They don't have the courage. And so a great way that I like to expose my subconscious mind to like normalize an awareness of there are people on the internet who may not want to see you succeed, who may be judgy McJudgersons, allowing your subconscious mind to be exposed to that and letting it know that you can survive watching it. Because here's the other thing about your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind will take everything personally. So even if you're seeing it be about someone else, it'll take it as you. So your subconscious mind watching this will learn, oh my gosh, this person on the interweb is doing a YouTube video about this other coach or program or a Reddit thread or whatever. Reddit's just, my goodness. But is doing a post about that. I'm going to read through, okay, wow, that's a lot of vitriol. Okay, wow, that's a lot of just nastiness. Wow, that's a lot of negativity. And just reading through it and exposing yourself and saying, wow, I survived it. I survived it. I'm not saying buy into your own press. I'm not saying lean into it. I'm not even saying contribute to it. I'm saying expose your subconscious mind to let it know that you can survive it. And whether that's be looking at a Reddit thread or looking at Trustpilot reviews, like, can you survive a bad review? Can your business survive a bad review? Like looking at those reviews, looking at how could I survive this? How can I live through this? Because as you grow, you're not going to satisfy everyone. You're not. And people will judge you and you will make mistakes because welcome to life. And they will think you're either too much. They may think you're not enough. They will shift. But allowing yourself to be exposed to that shift can prepare your subconscious mind to let it know that it's going to survive your next level of visibility. Because right now your nervous system is wanting you to blend in, overexplain, wait until it's perfect, shrink your options, water down your message, make it more appealing to everyone. Don't be so divisive. Don't be so polarizing. And I'm not saying be divisive to be divisive. I'm saying taking a strong authoritative stance. People lead because of authority. And because you assert authority. Authority is something that you assert. It is your masculine energy in the law of polarity that shows up as assertive. Typically, especially for women, studies show that when women show up as more assertive, they can be labeled a bitch. They can be labeled in other ways than a man typically wouldn't. But at the same time, do you want to let that stop you? I personally don't. The third way that I see people hide is they hide behind their credentials. I am a certification junkie. I love getting certified and learning new things. And at the same time, certifications do not create authority. They can heighten the perception of authority, like what school you go to or who you trained under or your mentors. They can enhance the perception of authority, but they don't create authority in and of themselves. What creates authority is the transformation and the outcomes and the result that you provide for someone else. So people remember stories. They remember how you impacted them. And we connect on a visceral level with stories. We don't connect with a resume. Like a resume is nice, but it's like, okay, well, what does this actually mean? How does this actually play out? So when you think of your resume of all the things that you've done and accomplished, how can you integrate those into stories that people can relate to? Maybe you were mentored under some amazing person in your industry and you share that in this vein of a story where you were intimidated initially, maybe going into this mentorship. And then you learn these valuable skill sets that then you can share. Well, that story has now positioned you with brand association to the person you were mentored by. It has created story, which creates relatability with your audience, and it creates buy-in to your skill set because of the brand association. So stop hiding behind the credentials, start storyifying. We're going to make up a new word here, storyifying your credentials. Thirdly, the fifth way to become impossible to ignore is to stop waiting until you're ready. Perfectionism is the enemy of progress. Confidence will never come first. Putting yourself out there, just doing the damn testing, trying, and seeing how it plays out, that's going to play. I was on a coaching call yesterday with a client and we came up with an amazingly fun marketing strategy and connection strategy to blend his two businesses. And he was really, really excited about it. And then he asked me, he's like, well, should I post this on like other platforms? And I was like, I'm not God. He's like, well, which platform is it going to perform best on? I was like, I don't know. Transparently, I don't know. I said, the only way you will know is if you do it. Is if you put it out there and the data will reflect back to you which algorithm is picking it up. Is it TikTok? Is it LinkedIn? Is it YouTube? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook? Which one is getting the most plays? Which one is getting the most engagement? You'll know by doing. You get data from doing. You don't get data from sitting on the sidelines and like pontificating the potentiality of will this perform or will this won't. You get data by doing. And lastly, if you want to become impossible to ignore, stop chasing trends. Stop chasing the trends. Trendsetters are trendsetters for a reason. They set the trends. They don't follow the trends. You following every single dang trend on TikTok to try to mimic it, that's not building authority. That's creating mimicry. Authority is built from original perspective. That doesn't mean that you can't see a trend and be like, oh, I really like this. This looks fun. But there's a difference from this trend is happening. I need to jump on this because that means my TikTok or my Instagram is going to pop off. No, not necessarily. That means that you're jumping on a bandwagon. You've become a follower, not an authority who's a leader. So you can jump on bandwagons if it feels fun to you, if it's coming from a place of pleasure, of desire, of joy, of this looks fun, rather than I need to do this. When it comes from need, it's always coming from scarcity. And when it comes from scarcity, then then you're in the followership seat, not a leader seat. Because a true leader leading from abundance and consciousness, you are leading from a space of owned authority, from your original perspective, from being able to shift paradigms. So if you love this video and you're like, oh my gosh, I need more. I need to know how to become known in my industry. I have a skill set and a mastery level that's up here, but people still don't know who I am. And they're buying from other people that is not me, that don't have this level of expertise and authority. You need to jump into Known, where we make your expertise impossible to overlook. You stop leading from survival and you're able to articulate your convictions with clarity, position your expertise so that people can trust you before they even get on a conversation with you, move people through with your communication, and build a business that scales beyond your constant presence. If you're like, oh my gosh, I want to become impossible to ignore, click below and jump into Known. And with that, as always, my fellow sovereigns, own your throne, mind your business, because your reign is now.